Greetings in the name of Yahuwah and his son Yahusha HaMashiach. My name is Malak Shalomo, and today is the 13th of February 2023. The time now I'm recording this video is 9:56 p.m. So let's do a trade recap today on my trade on not NVIDIA, AMD, sorry. So let's see here. Let's start off with the money zone. So let me just switch monitors here real quick. All right. So I learned something new with OBS Studio. I don't have to pull the chart across. I could just do something like this. Right. So let's see here now. Right, so starting off with the money zone, we have the money zone value area high at 81.48 today. The value area low was 80.68. All right, so let me just take a look here. So this was a lower value relationship. You see the value area high on the previous day was around 83.88. The value area high was 85.93. So it's a lower value relationship on the money zone. So it's looking for trend continuation, right? So we're moving down, right? So we had this pullback here, lower high, then we sold off, broke the lows, right? And then we went sideways, right? So in this lower value relationship today, we're looking for continuation and maybe a rejection of the thesis, which actually happened. And we had this short squeeze, right? So let's see here. So let's talk about some factors in this trade, right? So this is the value area high. This is supposed to be a rejection zone if we're continuing lower, right? So if price opens within this value, it's sustaining the thesis of seeking lower value, right? So we actually opened just above the value area high. So that's one strike against the lower value thesis, right? So it's opening above the lower value relationship, which is outside of value. And that's the first strike against a lower value relationship and seeking lower value in price, right? So let's see. Right, so we had the rejection, came back down into value. So at this point, I'm looking at it like, okay, we still kind of maintaining the lower value thesis where we're looking for lower value, right, in price action. So the next strike was we hit this level here, which was actually, let me show you something here. If I throw on the Camarillas, the S3, right? So let me take off the money zone for a second. Right. So the Camarillas, let me show the whole thing for the Camarillas, right? So this is a overlapping lower value relationship. Well, actually, let's see, by a couple ticks, it's actually a lower value, right? So this is R3 right here. That's previous day's S3. So it's a little lower. R3 is at 82.10, and that's yesterday's S3 right there. So it's a lower value relationship. It's signaling seeking lower value, just like the money zone, right? So this is the thing though, right? So this is S3 here today at 80.86, right? So you see price created the initial balance low. You see it, I have it tagged there, IBL. When we hit this level around S3, which coincides with this high volume area here, this consolidation right here, where we were getting support on this sideways moving day, right? That's another strike against this lower value thesis, because we're now getting support at previous support and it's not pushing lower, right? So let's see. After that, I actually took this R3 rejection, right? So this is a good trade here. Let me switch over to my trading platform. Right. So this is a good trade here. It's at R3. It's a R3 rejection, as you can see right here. Right. So that's R3. Took that short right there. Right. So I'm liking this. I could just switch back and forth. So when it pushed down and we didn't create no new lows, right, it started pushing back up. So I closed this trade. So then again, it went up, created a higher high, pulled back down. So I decided to jump back in. So first trade was at around 81.97, right? Stopped out at 81.81. Jump back in here after this reversal candle. Jump back in at around 81.81, right? And actually took some profit here because now I'm looking at it like, okay, if you're not creating lower lows, I need to start taking some profit if you're if the short isn't working, right? So took some profit here at 81.35 and closed the rest of the position, covered the rest here at 81.72. So with this price action here, I was looking at it like this. This is a rejection of the lower value thesis, right? So I'm starting to look at around 10:30. We could start breaking the initial balance high, right? So let me switch over again. Right, so the initial balance high is here. So I stopped out and stopped looking for shorts, right? So let's see. The initial balance 10:30 was, that's the first hour of trading. We were up here making that upward movement, and then we started to break, right? We broke the initial balance high, but I was distracted. I was kind of taking care of some business, and I couldn't catch this move, right? So this today turned out to be like a double distribution day, you know, and it's a rejection of the lower value thesis, right? So the thing about today is I wouldn't consider this initiative buying. It might have some initiative buyers inside there, but this is a short squeeze, right? So the buyers inside here is actually shorts covering. So let's see here. Let's look at something here real quick. Right, so looking at the structure here, right? Let me take off the cameras and throw on the pivots, right? So we came back to this prior day's pivot level and rejected right at the pivot level, right? Almost exactly to the T, right? So this high right here was what, 84.15, and the previous day's pivot was approximately 84.22. So this stoppage right here, you see how we created this lower high right there. I'm looking at this like, I don't know, tomorrow is the CPI and stuff. I don't know what might happen. This could come back to like a retest of this level right here, right? As you can see, that level right there, breakout level. We could come back, retest that, and then look for higher prices, right? And probably try and get to these levels here, this high volume area. You see this consolidation right here? We could try and get back to that. But this is still a downtrend to me. Like I'm looking at this right here, short covering, the weak hands covered, right? And the initiative buyers, some of them probably stepped in here for real, right? But I'm not too convinced that this is like a bullish recovery back up to these levels. I'm not too sure. It could have been short covering to set up for the CPI to get the further move down. But I'm a little short biased because I want to go with the actual trend, right? So we've been in a downtrend for some time here on AMD, right? After this push up, broke down, pulled back, broke down, pulled back. So what should it do now, right? If it's a trend continuation, push up, break down, pull back, break down, pull back, even shallower pull back. What should we do? I'm just saying, But, the stock market is going to do what it's going to do. So let's see what happens tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? I was, man, I could have caught this run here though. Oh, let me change back. I got to switch back. Yeah, I could have caught this run here, man. Double distribution day, It was an easy call for the initial balance, break of the initial balance high and for a continuation up, But I was distracted, man, so I couldn't catch it. But, small profit today. All right, y'all, it's Malak Shalomo, a.k.a. No, a.k.a., man. I'm getting confused with how I used to say King Yedaya and stuff like that, and a.k.a. King Solomon. But I'm keeping it straight Hebrew. It's just Malak Shalomo. All right, y'all, so trade safe and stay blessed.